Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans. The last bonus Cantos episode of 2024. I am Joe Panther III, and this is the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. What a year. What a year. Closed off Dudes at Ringside for 2024, season 3 with Kiara. And I have this young lady that is absolutely blazing a trail for herself on the independent wrestling scene. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to my guest today. Introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Hi, my name's Paris McQueen. And
Awesome.
I am the smartest, sickest, and bestest woman wrestler in the indies.
Awesome. So, like, what was that moment when you first saw? What was the first match you ever saw? Like, what was the first moment you knew that wrestling was your thing?
Oh God! So I used to watch wrestling with my dad when I was like a little kid. So I can't remember like the first match that I watched, but we always would like wrestle around when I was a kid. I never got to win any matches with my dad though. And then actually it wasn't until I went to my first indie show. It was one of the first indie shows that happened in my area after COVID. And it was War Wrestling. And I never realized that you could do wrestling on the indies, and it brought me into the world and wanting to do wrestling.
Awesome. Awesome, Paige. So who trained you?
Yeah, so I have been trained by a few people. I started off with Brandon Day. I've known him for a really long time. I asked him to start training me. And so he started about 2 years ago. I was handed off to Congo Kong for a little bit, made my way back to Brandon, made my way to Skull and Bones in Toledo, Ohio, and then just again made my way back to Brandon Day. So he's been my primary trainer throughout my whole career.
So, Paige, how long did it take you to find that training school? Did it take you like a while to look them up, the research? Because nowadays you have the internet to follow by. Back in the day, you had to like hear by hearsay, like, oh, this school's good. So how long did it take you to find it?
For Brandon Day or for Skull and Bones?
The first school you went to.
So for Brandon Day, like I said, I knew him. So it was just, he didn't have a school yet. He now has the Unchained Academy. But this was before he even had that school, and I had already known him, just from previous experiences that I had. So I asked him, and so he took up the offer. When I went to Kong's, it was because Brandon knew about Kong's school. And then from Skull and Bones, I actually had met Benjamin Boone, who's one of the trainers at Skull and Bones as well, and he introduced me to them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So when you finally stepped foot in the training facility, the very first time, did you feel comfortable? How long did it take you to get, like, because you know the person, did you feel at home with the different people that you didn't know that were there? Like, what were your first thoughts walking in the door?
So I was definitely nervous. For a very long time, I didn't think pro wrestling was something that I could do. There was a lot that I struggled with, and I focused on all the struggles that I had, nothing I was doing positive. I was very lucky with Brandon not having a school. I was his only trainee, so he had his main focus being on me the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So what was the toughest thing you had to do in the training?
Oh God, taking bumps.
Which bumps were the toughest to take?
Just anything that was like something bigger. So like power slams, I'm actually afraid of suplexes. I take them a lot, but I'm afraid of suplexes. Um, just bigger. So I was afraid of Germans for a real long time. I'd say German was a hard one to take.
Mm,
Mhm.
gosh. So with your character Paige McQueen, where did she come from? Like you like did the trainer help you come up with this character, or is this just you at 12 at like all the way up at max?
Oh no. So Paris McQueen,
Paris.
um the name came from my trainer. It comes off of a riff of my middle name. My middle name being Paradise. So Paris comes from paradise. And then I wanted to do like something like with being a queen. So we came up with McQueen. So if I wanted to steer away from queen, we could change it. Um, and it could just be my last name. And then it took a long time for us to come up with a character. Brandon definitely helped me with that too. And then she was just a development. She was supposed to be a queen. Now she's just a rich, arrogant, bratty jerk.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay. The outfits you wear, did you make that yourself, or do you have a person that makes your gear?
No, so my red Lightning McQueen gear, Brandon Day put the graphics on those ones. But and then I put the graphics on my silver gear, but all my gear is made by Cokeworthy Clothing.
Ooh,
Mhm.
awesome. So let's go a little bit further in your wrestling career. Like when you finally got the green light to get your first match, did what was going through your mind?
So when I got the green light to have my first match, it was actually we were on our way to a PWK show. Um, and they just asked if I was ready to have a match. So I learned about my first match in an hour and I was terrified. I didn't think that it was something I would be able to do. And but still to this day, I'm very proud of the match that I had put on. Um, I think very highly of that match actually, which I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to say.
Hmm. Paris, is that match on YouTube? And if my fans want to watch it, did you know what website, YouTube channel it's on?
Yeah, so it's actually on my YouTube. My YouTube is just Paris McQueen. And then I know it's also on, I think her name's Jensen, and her username might be Jensen the Death Rider. But those videos both have, or those um, profiles both had the match on them. It would be Paris McQueen versus Jensen versus Mackenzie Black.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So like how far have you traveled since you like within your wrestling career? Have you thoughts of anywhere you want to travel that you haven't been to yet? Where have you been to?
Um, So I have done a few not promotions, a few seminars for Exodus NWA. So I've been like and I've seen EC3, Aaron Stevens, and everybody in Cleveland. I'd love to travel to Cleveland and work for an Exodus show. And then I have also traveled down to Tennessee. I'm not too sure where to go to the school of Morton and do a seminar there as well.
Awesome. I'm from Pennsylvania, and we
Oh,
got a
okay.
lot of. Oh yeah, I'm from PA. I'm from the Poconos, and there's a lot of awesome promotions that are over here that I think you would probably fit in really well. PPW in Slatington, PA. That's one that I think you would fit in with in the women's division. We got like Danny Moe here. We got Semi Chaos and people like that. So we have a lot of random women that come through, but like nothing, nobody ever sticks and nobody stays. It's like they used to have a lot of women there, but the women's division is kind of like I think you probably know this. Where you have a lot of women's wrestlers where you wrestle.
Um, there's a few. For War Wrestling, we had a Rumble that had 12 women in it.
Mm,
Um, but a lot of us are locals. Like we have Shauna Reed, Ari Alexander, Rachel Armstrong, the lovely Miss Larkin.
I miss Larkin, yay!
Like they're all, I would say, like from the area. So I think we have like a decent few. It's definitely not like I have 2 matches with Leela this week and next week. But that's like the one repeat show I've done outside of Shauna Reed, and I've faced different people all the rest of them.
So with this, the whole rise with like intergender wrestling, have you had a chance to wrestle with any men, or you haven't got a chance to do that yet?
So in front of a crowd, I have not gotten the chance to do any intergender wrestling. I would be very open to doing it. A lot of my training that I had actually been with guys, so I pretty much trained with guys the entire time. So I'm very comfortable doing that if I needed to.
So like, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years in the wrestling business?
I'd like to, for how I see myself, where I see myself being, I can see myself being a lot farther than I am currently. I would like to see myself having this as a very legitimate part-time to full-time job in 5 to 10 years. I know that I've had a lot of luck, and I am very, I think, confident in that I do good at what I do. And so I can see myself making it a lot farther than maybe most can. So I'd love to see myself, even if it's not like on WWE or anything, I'd love to see myself at least like maybe on the NWA circuit and everything.
So how many times a day do you train? Is it like every day, or do you have like practice on certain dates?
For the Unchained Wrestling Academy, I haven't gotten to practice for a while. It's just been very hard for me to be able to go back to it right now. I would train 2 times a week. I still watch tape every day, and I still work out every day to keep up with the needs of being a wrestler.
So what is like the week of a show? Like if you have a show on Saturday, what is your like normal workout regimen like? Is there something that you don't cover because you don't want to hurt yourself and stuff like that?
No, so I actually go harder on my wrestling weeks just because I want to look my best going out somewhere. I don't want to look like, I don't want to feel confident in how I feel. So I'll hit like 5 times a week, and then I won't skip anything just to make sure I look and feel my best when it's that time.
Awesome. After a show, because as I said, I'm a local podcaster. I like to support my local businesses. Where would you say would you be like your favorite ideal place to go get a bite to eat after a wrestling show?
Oh God. We normally stop when I was with Brandon. We were traveling. We'd always go somewhere quick. So like Wendy's, McDonald's. We normally did that just because it was quick. We could get on the road and we were done. But if I had to pick like a nicer place, like probably Hooters. Like I like greasy food when I'm done wrestling.
Haven't heard that word in a while, Paige. It's sad because I used to love going to Hooters with my sister when we lived on Long Island. Like, is it weird to not hear people say Hooters anymore when it comes to wings?
I don't think so. I've been like, I don't mind their wings. I'm more of a chicken strip kind of gal. So I don't mind their wings, but around here, especially like I live in a smaller town, but I live by Toledo. We have like Frickers and like Buffalo Wild Wings and stuff. I hear more about them than Hooters.
Hooters is going under because a lot of people don't really go there anymore. There's all these different wing places, Wingos, Wing this, Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like, and people get upset. Oh, my kids saw Hooters. It's 2024. People wear shorts. Like, go to a wrestling show. You'll see that all the time.
And even like that, like they have so many of those bars now too. Like there's Hooters, and then there's Twin Peaks, and then Frickers also is pretty much just a family-friendly Hooters. So there's just also just a lot of restaurants now too, and they all are in surplus, I think.
Yeah. So, when it comes to the day of a show, when you're about to, right before you go into the curtain page, I mean, heap sync page, Paris. Do you have a song you listen to? Is there like a moment you go in the corner and say a prayer and what is it? What gets you to go into like war mode to get into that, like get right into like that zone? Do you know, like, boom, you're ready to rock?
So I actually have a lot of anxiety, so I'm never really ready to rock. So it's a lot of actually me jumping behind the curtain up until my music hits, and then it's like as soon as you go through the curtain, all that anxiety you have washes away, and you are now just you. I will listen to music on the way to the show, and I would say that's more of my pre-warm-up. But me before I go out is just me hopping around and being very anxious until we pop out, and then I am the bestest thing that could happen.
Awesome. That's like good to know, because a lot of wrestlers, they listen to like a death metal song or they sit in the corner and they yell la la, like they go crazy. Like, yeah.
No, I'm very anxious, and I think right before I went out one of the last times, somebody was like, "Don't you ever get nervous? So, like, this is gonna be your last time going out, something could happen." I was like, "Nah, but you just added that one to my list."
It's like start hearing the "Dumb Ways to Die" theme off YouTube. You're like, great, thanks, dumb, great. So Paris, before we go, if my fans want to follow you on any and all of your social medias, how can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook. I am Paris McQueen on Facebook. My Instagram, I believe, is all.hail.mcqueen. And my TikTok is the same way.
Awesome. If my fans want to pick up any merch, how can they find it?
For merch, I would just go ahead and message me. I make all my stuff and carry it with me, so I can check out if we need to. And then I can also send you the t-shirt designs that I have, and I'll print them off myself for you.
Awesome. Before we go, if there's any kids that wanted to get into the wrestling business, what kind of advice would you have for them?
If you're a child, don't. Not until you're old enough. But
I say child, that meant like, I always say child in my head. I think child like a teen. Like, you know what I mean? Not like a little kid that's holding the banister at the bar by ringside, like a teen, like a 13-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say do your research, know who you're going to, make sure that they're credible, and make sure that they will treat you right. I think one of the biggest things, and I don't know if it's a big thing now, but I've heard about it so much from like older wrestlers, is how much people were mistreated by the wrestling schools that they went to. My trainer had talked about how he had been beat up when he was younger, and he never understood why. And so I would make sure who you're going to is reputable. They are going to treat you right, and they're going to take care of you, because that is the most important part of wrestling, is taking care of one another.
Awesome, Paris. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And fans, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. And I can't wait to start off the 4th season of this awesome internationally known podcast, where I've helped independent wrestlers like this young lady show the light and show her what independent wrestling, and fans, podcasters, and people from all over the world. Paris, I want to wish you the best of luck on your wrestling journey. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Paris McQueen.
And we will catch you in the next one.